stations.
Roll Tide.
45-40, foot race, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Alabama.
It's time for Hey Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show. Live from Baumhower's Victory Grille in Tuscaloosa on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Let's get out of here again. Alabama wins it.
Hey Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show is presented by Alfa Insurance. You do your thing. We've got you covered. Also brought to you by Ford. Visit your local Ford dealer. Proud sponsor of the Crimson Tide. Everwood, the official treated lumber of Alabama athletics. Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. And by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Did he get to the first down? He did. Wow, wow, wow.
Now, here's the voice of the Crimson Tide, Chris Stewart.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Hey Coach, coming to you live from Baumhower's Victory Grille right here in Tuscaloosa. Hey Coach, presented by Alfa Insurance. Auto, home, life, business. Alfa Insurance covers it all. AlfaInsurance.com. A full lineup as we are in week number 2 for this season of Hey Coach during the Alabama athletic year. Coming up in just a few moments, Alabama soccer coach Wes Hart will be our first guest out of the gate. 2 of his student athletes will be checking in with us as well. Look forward to talking with them as their home portion of the schedule gets underway tomorrow night. We're going to talk with Coach Hart about that. Also, the other version of football, as you may be aware, is not far around the corner from getting started in Tuscaloosa as well. The general manager on the coaching staff for head coach Kalen DeBoer is Courtney Morgan. He will be with us at 6:35. Among the things we'll discuss with him, what exactly does the general manager at a college football program do? We'll get that description from the man himself when he checks in at the bottom of this hour. And then at 7 o'clock, a member of our crew with the Crimson Tide Sports Network and former great player for Alabama as well, Christian Miller, joining us live here at Baumhower's as we've got a lot of things going on. You know, you can keep up with everything Alabama with the Crimson Tide mobile app presented by our friends at Cadence Bank. It's available at the App Store and at Google Play. Download that Alabama Crimson Tide mobile app now for free. We're at Baumhower's Victory Grille. It's the official watch party location of the Crimson Tide and our home for Hey Coach as well. And by the way, don't forget, it's not too early as we're a week and a half away, but for you fans coming to Tuscaloosa on game day, check out the best pregame FanFest in the country. Vector Security Champions Lane opens 4 hours prior to kickoff before each home game. It's located adjacent to the Walk of Champions. You can stop by, enjoy live music, food trucks, cold beer, no cover charge, interactive games for fans of all ages, and maybe a radio show. We'll tell you about that as well in the course of the next few days. Visit championslane.com each week for more details. We're starting things off, kicking it around with the soccer coach Wes Hart next on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
I spy a new Camry.
Ooh, I spy a sporty RAV4.
I spy deals on the entire lineup at the Toyota National Sales Event.
Good eye.
Lease a new 2024 Toyota RAV4 LE for $349 a month for 36 months. Offer valid through September 3rd, 2024. Well-qualified lessees with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. 3648 due at signing. No security deposit with select equipment. $350 disposition fee. Excludes tax, tag, registration, title, and dealer fees. See dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations. You could say we know a thing or two about tradition. We've been family, community, and financially strong since we began in 1906. Being a team player is part of our culture. That's why at CB&S Bank, we're proud to sponsor the University of Alabama Athletics and prouder to take the field or court with you. Visit cbsbank.com today. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Gear up for game day with a hearty win from Jack's. Score big with our hand-breaded chicken fingers and mouth-watering fried chicken, served with scratch-made biscuits and a spread of tasty sides. Jack's Catering is perfect for feeding the whole crew while you cheer on your team. Whether it's a game watch or a gathering with your family, we've got the flavors that everyone loves. Visit us at eatatjacks.com or download the Jack's app to start your catering order today. Jack's, all about the South.
When the game is on the line, you want someone you can count on. At Alabama Power, we believe in consistency and having each other's back. It's our game plan to safely deliver the electricity you depend on. We give 100% to achieve 99.9% reliability. Learn how we power a better Alabama at alabamapower.com/reliable. Alabama Power is a proud supporter of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Every Alabama tailgate has food, but when you bring Hellman's to your tailgate, the buffalo chicken dip makes the Crimson Tide drool. That pimento cheese dip isn't just tasty, it's legendary. And the burgers? Those are the tailgate MVPs. With a squeeze of creamy, delicious Hellman's, every bite is a taste touchdown. Hellman's, official mayonnaise of Alabama Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, to Hey Coach. It's presented by Alfa Insurance. So glad that you have joined us for our program as we get things going right out of the gate. Talking a little Bama soccer with the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Wes Hart. Coach, always good to see you. How are things?
Yeah, doing awesome, man. Appreciate you having me on tonight.
You have the honor or the unenviable task, however you want to look at it, as being the first sport that really gets going on the year.
Yeah, crazy.
For Alabama Athletics.
Yeah, crazy. I can't believe the season's already here. So summer flew by, and preseason for us, unfortunately, unlike other sports, we got about a week of preseason, and then we're right into it. So we've already started up with games, and we've got our home opener tomorrow night.
Let me ask you, for your student athletes, as we had classes starting finally at the university, what that's like for them to be here. Look, I know it can limit distractions, but it also can be kind of tough. They're here. They're putting in all the work that goes with preseason and the start of that. Obviously, football's been doing that. Cross country does that as well. But you're here putting in all that work, and you don't have the other students around. I know from a coaching standpoint, you probably like it a little bit.
Yeah, it's fine.
They're probably glad to see everybody else, though.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've got two players here. You should ask them.
I will.
Ask them. But I think it's good. I think it's nice to just be able to focus on your sport for a couple weeks before classes start, without all the distractions of studying and homework and classes and everything like that. But, it's tough for home games. The years when we do have home games before classes start, it's hard to get crowds out there. But luckily for us, home opener is tomorrow night. Classes have begun, and hopefully we can get some students out there.
How in the world is this season 10 for you already? It's amazing.
It's crazy. I was thinking about that on the drive over. I think my first season here, we were at the Baumhowers, in Midtown Village.
Yeah,
I remember being
right.
there. I remember that being the first season. And it's incredible, man. It feels like I blinked, and here we are in year 10.
And built a program where you want it. And by that, I mean you're now a nationally recognized program, and going to the College Cup as you did your before last special. But it also means now everybody's coming after you, and now you're hungry to get back there. And not that wasn't the goal before, but now that they understand it can be attained, much like the Final Four for men's basketball at Alabama. You know what can be attained, and that's where you set the bar every year.
Yeah, no question. Our goal when I took this job over was to take this program to new heights and compete for SEC championships and get to the College Cup and ultimately win a national championship. And I feel like we've done a good job. Obviously we've won an SEC now. We've been to the Final Four, and our goal is to get back. And as you saw with men's basketball and us, 2 years ago, it's about staying healthy, about catching breaks and getting hot at the right time, and all those things kind of have to come into play. But we certainly have a group this year, and as we're building this program, I think we're going to have teams that are certainly more than capable of competing for those championships. And it's just a matter, like I say, of everything falling into place.
Trying to get to fall into place, and when that happens, you tend to get more of a following, especially on your own campus. And was talking last week about that and how incredible it was to go from, okay, you could kick a soccer ball into the stands, which would happen a time or two, and somebody's got to get up and go get that.
Right.
Then you had 2 years ago where you literally had beyond capacity. It had to turn people away.
Yeah, there was a couple games. I know the Florida game when we clinched the SEC, and the Duke game when we qualified for the College Cup and the NCAA quarterfinal. Literally, we were pushing fans away, and people were standing outside the gates. So, pretty incredible, and it just kind of shows the passion and the excitement around sports here at Alabama, and fans that are willing to get behind you for your games and putting a good product on the field.
A 2-1 win in your last match. You went on the road to start things off. A tough loss at TCU, and then at North Texas, you're able to come away with a 2-1 victory. Tell me what you learned in weekend number one.
Yeah, learned that we've got work to do. So, for us, we like to challenge ourselves early. And, for our exhibition game, we played LSU, obviously an SEC opponent that we don't play in the regular season. And so that was a good game. And then, opening on the road at TCU, who's been one of the top programs in the country the last few years. And, for us, we wanted to find out a bit about ourselves. And I think in those games, including the North Texas game, I think they exposed some areas of concern for us that we need to work on. And, good to find out now as opposed to wait until the SEC season. 3
straight years now, you've taken a program to the NCAA tournament 4 times in your tenure. And again, that is something that is not easy to accomplish. This is a place that had not had that type of history, especially the consistent success that you've been able to put together. But I've got to think it helps when you look and you got 19 players back from a roster that did continue the streak of going to the NCAA tournament 3 in a row.
Yeah, certainly right, man. And, when we first got here, I think in the history of the 25-year program, we'd been to the NCAA tournament twice and never won a game. And then, like you said, 3 years in a row, not only getting to the NCAA tournament, but getting past the first round in the NCAA tournament each of the past 3 years and getting to the College Cup in 22. So, we feel that the program is in a good place. We do have a good number of players returning, but at the same time, we lost a lot of key players as well. You lose a 5th-year senior in Macy Clem, starting holding midfielder, a 5th-year starting senior in Sasha Pickard, center back, and Felicia Knox, a 4th-year senior. And so we lost some good players, but we're really excited about the players that we brought in, as well as the ones we have returning. But, it's going to take a little bit of time. I think against TCU, we started 5 newcomers, 4 of them being freshmen and 1 transfer. And so it's going to take a bit of time to gel and, kind of mesh. But that's what these, non-conference games are all about, so that once SEC hits, we should be rolling.
All right, we're looking forward to meeting a couple of the young ladies that are part of your squad. We're going to talk with them on the other side of the break. Hey, Coach, again, presented by Alfa. 877-202-BAMA is the number to call if you want to be a part of the show when we open up the phones a little bit later on in the program. Bama soccer coach Wes Hart, our guest, as we continue, and also joined by a couple of student athletes right here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
I want that. The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on, so make it your best summer ever with Ford. Now's the best time to get our best deals on a great selection of Ford trucks and SUVs, like the Ford Explorer, the Ford Bronco family, Ford F-Series, and the all-electric F-150 Lightning. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event, so make it yours. Make it now at your Ford dealer today.
Don't stop planning for your future. Don't stop investing in your kids' education. Don't stop dreaming of that new home. And don't stop growing your business. Whatever you're passionate or dreaming about, don't stop. Because when you have a bank you can trust, you have the confidence to take on tomorrow. Speak with a Trustmark associate today for advice on achieving your goals. Trustmark. People you trust, advice that works. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Alfa Insurance, our goal is to be your MVP, providing you with the most valuable protection. That means saving you money on home, car, and life insurance, and providing championship service from a helpful hometown team. Call Alfa for your insurance needs today, and let us show you why we consistently rank among the top insurance companies in the Southeast for customer satisfaction.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
But Jessica's going to come up next, right?
Yeah. I thought we were doing it together.
Well, we've only got the 2 headsets. It won't coach involved. By Alfa Insurance, Auto, Home, Life, Business. Alfa Insurance covers it all. AlfaInsurance.com. Chris Stewart back with you here at Baumhower's Victory Grille in Tuscaloosa. Another packed house as we've got another edition of Hey Coach. The Kalen DeBoer Show starts next week here in Tuscaloosa along with Hey Coach, but we are talking soccer right now. We'll talk football a little bit later with Courtney Morgan, Christian Miller. But Coach Wes Hart, we're going to let you introduce a young lady who's joining us here. We're going to make you be a broadcaster for a few minutes, and not a lot, but we'll let you introduce the young lady that's with us next.
All right, we got Gianna Paul from Long Island, New York, and she's first-team All-SEC, SEC Freshman of the Year, and I believe she's on the Mac Herman Trophy watch list, which is similar to the Heisman Trophy. So, a lot of accolades for Gianna in her 2 years here. Incredible pace. Capable of scoring lots of goals for us, and we're excited to have her back for her junior year.
Gianna, to be back and have this year, as we were just talking with Coach, so many players back. You got 9 newcomers, but it's a roster that knows each other pretty well, and I would imagine pretty excited about the start of the season.
Oh, super excited. I mean, the season's always my favorite time of year. I mean, especially starting with our home opener tomorrow. It's going to be amazing. I think there's nothing like playing in Tuscaloosa. I think literally just the best experience ever, so I'm super excited.
I know I asked you this a couple of weeks ago when we were doing an event together at the football stadium, but for this audience, tell them about what drew you to Alabama. Why playing for the Crimson Tide?
It was honestly a crazy situation because I committed here before I even saw the campus because my whole recruiting year was during COVID, so it's a little crazy for us, but it was literally just a perfect situation where, like, the coaching staff, the people here, the players, everyone culminating together, and like especially the sports staff, which doesn't get enough highlight on them, our academic staff, our SID, everyone that works behind the scenes. It's just amazing, and I think all of that combined with the fact that I knew like I could get out there and make an impact right away it was a perfect storm, and then it ended up being such a great freshman year.
Gianna, another great example, coach, of your student athletes, which we have all over campus. Great students, in addition to obviously being great athletes.
Yeah, no question. She's obviously, her as well as, her 28 other teammates, special group of ladies. And, as you mentioned, all across campus, you see players like this. So pretty cool.
Tell us what she brings to the program and why it was such an important piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, I think she's the fastest player I've ever coached or ever seen. So, the ability for her to stretch opposing defenses, to get behind, and really what it opens up for the rest of the team. So I know sometimes Gianna will get frustrated, maybe she doesn't get a goal and, maybe doesn't feel like she played as well as she could have. But what she doesn't realize is what she opens up for other people. So, I mean, the amount of attention that she gets, usually there's 2-3 players per game on the other team that are kind of keying in on her, which opens up opportunities for other people. So even when Gianna's not scoring, she's impacting the game.
Gianna, you understand, you've been here enough now. I know you're from Long Island, but there's hot and then there's Bama hot. But it hadn't exactly been Bama hot the last couple of days.
It hasn't.
There's
nice.
something called a breeze that actually, it's not cool, but it's closer to it. So helps right now.
We were just in Texas this past weekend playing TCU in North Texas, and I think that was hands down the hottest weather I've ever played in my life. It was like 105, feels like 110 in the middle of our game at 7 p.m., which is insane. But Tuscaloosa's been pretty nice.
Good.
I mean, I woke up and it was 78, not like 90, so that was nice.
And you're in Alabama as opposed to Texas.
Yeah.
That's another plus
It's
period
better.
just right there. There's my first shot over the bow at our new members in the SEC. Let me ask you this before we let you go. Being a part of the University of Alabama and representing the Crimson Tide, whether it's soccer, football, doesn't matter. What does that mean to you? What has that meant?
There's no more special feeling. I think coming to the South and just being in an SEC environment, I think the love that fans and support show is way more than I think I could ever even express. I have had my favorite experiences of my life here. I've played the best games of my life. I've met so many people. I've met so many new faces, and all of them have been positive experiences. Like, I've loved the support, and it goes for miles, and I could not even express how much it means to me.
Is it okay if we sub you out right now?
It's
I think the
amazing.
official's
You're
on the side
girl.
with a card up right now.
She doesn't like to be subbed.
She doesn't like to be subbed. No. We appreciate you so much, Gianna Paul. It's really good to see you. Thanks for the time.
Good seeing you too.
Coach, as we have your next young lady come in and get ready to put the headset on and sit down in that spot, the reason I wanted you to do the introduction, because it's fun to hear you talk about your young ladies, and I can tell how proud you are of them. Not the soccer part of it, even though that's obvious, but the personal part of it and what that's like.
Yeah, no, they're, like I said, man, it's an awesome group, and so much fun to be around. It makes coaching so much more enjoyable when you enjoy your players, and on and off the field, we have a good time.
Well, we welcome to the stage the next member of the squad. We'll let you introduce this young lady.
Gessica Skorka has been with us. She's a fifth-year senior. She was one of the ones that I guess really kind of believed in us before we kind of turned this program around. And she's been with us. Gosh, I've known her now because back when I started recruiting Jess, we were recruiting freshmen and sophomores. Known Jess for 8 or 9 years now, so it seems like forever. But what an awesome kid, and she's been with us for 5 years now, and through ups and downs and highs and lows and everything, and she's been a rock for us, and she's kind of one of our anchors on the back line, and another just like Gianna, she was first team All SEC All SEC last year. Probably one of the best outside backs in the country.
Gessica, what made you believe in Coach Hart and what Alabama soccer could become when you signed with the Crimson Tide?
A lot of my decision was based off of not wanting to play the same type of people. And as a freshman in high school, like going and committing to a college that early, it's very scary because you don't know, like, God forbid this didn't work out for me. You know what I'm saying? But
sure.
I think just Wes and the coaching staff and his vision that he had for for future teams and just the style of play, I feel like I played very similar to the style we play here in club, and I just knew I wanted to be a part of a program that wasn't already at its peak. I wanted to be a part of a program, like building a program and bringing in new players that are going to be better than me so that the program just continues to exceed.
It was pretty famous last year, or actually more than last year. It was, I guess, 3 years ago. Nate Oates made the statement when he was asked, about basketball winning an SEC championship, which was the first of a couple that he's won now. He said, why have we got to be a football school? Why can't we, or a basketball school? Why can't we just be a championship school? Mm-hmm. You got to be a part of that for Alabama soccer. Can you put into words what it was like to be a part of finally making this a championship soccer program?
I don't even know if I can put into words. I mean, it just feels good to have all your hard work pay off. Obviously, I know a bunch of other schools, they work hard, but I don't know. Just the commitment we had that year, the dedication we had to giving everything we had, every practice, every lift, every treatment session, every region session. It was just, we were all bought in, and being able to reap the outcome, like the benefits of our, I guess, dedication was really exciting and like really fun to see. And obviously winning is a lot of fun, so we had a good time that year.
Winning is fun. Playing in front of big crowds, fun. And you got a match tomorrow night. You got the University of North Alabama coming to town, a newer Division I program, but an in-state team that you'll be facing, and I would imagine a packed house would kind of help the feel if you 100%. Could get it as well.
Yeah, like we've said it before, it's so different playing in front of fans and a crowd. Like, it just makes the game so much more enjoyable, and I don't know, it just brings a different type of atmosphere to the game that you don't get when there's 10 people in the stands.
Coach, we're going to wrap it up with just a thought for you on the matchup tomorrow night.
Yeah, North Alabama is a team that they're coming here to win. It's not like they're going to come here and just kind of roll over for us. So I believe we've got the talent and the experience to we should be able to win this game, but not if we don't come with kind of the right mentality and the right work ethic. And so if we do that, it's going to be hard to find teams that can stay with us. But as you know, in sports, anything's possible, and if you overlook a team or look past the team, you can get bit. So we're going to be ready for tomorrow night.
We really appreciate your time, Gessica, Gianna, as well. Great to visit with all of you and spotlight the soccer program for a little while, and hopefully a great crowd there to support you tomorrow night, Coach.
Awesome, man. We appreciate you having us on.
Yeah,
good to see you.
Yeah,
Coach Wes Hart, Jessica Skorka earlier, Gianna Paul from Alabama women's soccer. Crimson Tide playing tomorrow night, 7 o'clock at the Alabama Soccer Complex against the University of North Alabama. We've got more coming up. So glad you're with us here for our program. And J&J Apparel is your trusted source for Bama tailgate gear. New Bama caps and polos arriving daily. You can visit online at jnjapparel.net or shop their retail store at 1926 University Boulevard in Tuscaloosa. Roll Tide Roll with J&J. And then after you've gotten your gear, roll on over here to Baumhower's Victory Grille, who's ready for football, fun, and great food. Also your big game headquarters all season long. More than 60 televisions dialed into your favorite team's games. You're never going to miss a play of the action. If you're going to the big game, just visit your local Baumhowers before or after for legendary fun, legendary food, and legendary celebrations. We are talking with the new general manager of Alabama's football program. He's Courtney Morgan, and he's our guest next on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. When you've got beer and football, nothing is hard until the other team scores. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus, copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Throw a flag before ants, termites, and other pests invade your home by calling Cook's Pest Control. Cook's proven pest control methods and Centricon termite control system protect your home from unwanted pests and are backed by a 110% satisfaction guarantee. Make the right call and call the South's most trusted name in pest control for a free inspection. Cook's Pest Control.
Looky, 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 here comes Cookie, Cook's Pest Control.
You know that feeling when you're doing what you love? You're in the zone, truly and fully alive, lost in thought. You know what you're not thinking about? Insurance. That's where Alfa comes in. Alfa handles all things insurance, so you're free to do anything. So get out there and live your best life. Whatever your thing is, we've got you covered. That's life with Alfa Insurance. Visit alfainsurance.com to learn more.
I'm Jan Miller.
And I'm Kobe Prentice.
Make sure you and your family are up to date this summer on all recommended vaccines, including respiratory disease.
Vaccinations against these viruses are important for everyone, especially those at a higher risk of developing serious complications, including older Americans and those with certain medical conditions.
So don't wait, vaccinate. For more information, visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMM today. Stay safe and roll tide.
Hello there. My name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you're going to get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
This segment of Hey Coach is presented by Roll Tide Jerky, Alabama's newest tailgate tradition. Proceeds from Roll Tide Jerky will help fuel Crimson Tide athletes. It's coming to a store near you, and you can also find out more online right now, RollTideJerky.com. That's Roll Tide Jerky, where passion and protein collide. We are pleased to welcome into the program now here live at Baumhower's Victory Grill more of Hey Coach, but it's not Coach. It's the Hey GM is what we've got. Courtney Morgan, first-year football general manager for the Crimson Tide. Great to see you. Let me see if we adjust the mic on the fly here. Courtney, welcome to our program. First time we've had a chance to have you here. I'm going to get you to explain out of the gate what a college football general manager does with Coach Kalen DeBoer for Coach's program.
Well, every school does it differently, right? My major responsibility is to manage the recruiting process, manage our roster. When the transfer portal windows open up, be ahead of the transfer portal window. And one thing that I do that's a little different, I think separates me from a lot of people, is I also help manage the brand, right? And to help work with Walter Brock, our creative director, and making sure we're staying on the forefront of being creative and being innovative and pushing the Alabama brand out to the public.
Because all of that impacts what you had talked about earlier to start things off, especially the recruiting process itself.
Most definitely. I think, you have to have a pulse on what's going on in pop culture. You have to have a pulse on how can you promote your brand and promote Alabama, which already is probably the mecca of college football. So we already have a major brand. So what we try to do is take advantage of the assets that we already have and collaborate with new and creative ideas, and that's how we came up with the Cold Summer campaign.
So you've been with Coach 3 seasons now? Is that correct? You were with him for his last year at Fresno, right, and then the 2 years at the University of Washington. Mm-hmm. Prior to that, we won't say exactly where you were, but it rhymes with Michigan. But that is that obviously is an indicator that you know what it's like to be at Power 5 programs. You have an understanding of what it is at a place like the University of Alabama, where, as you said, the brand means as much as it does.
Yeah, most definitely. I think Michigan, Alabama, Oklahoma, Ohio State, those are your major blue blood programs. So I think having played at Michigan and not only as a player, then going back on the personnel side, I have a lot of respect for blue blood programs and understand, more importantly, the expectations.
Right. Coach DeBoer calls you about being a part of this, and in fact, you were one of the first guys. I think you got off the plane with Coach, did you not? You were one of the first people here, staff-wise, to be a part of this and literally hit the ground running with what he wanted to be done for Alabama's program to look like his.
Yeah, it was, I think we played the national championship on Monday. We flew back from Houston on Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, he went radio silent. Mm-hmm. Friday, Alabama sent the plane and we're on our way to Tuscaloosa. And when we got off the plane, this is when I found out how real Alabama was, because the stewardess said, hey, we're about to land, and there's 3,000 people at the airport. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, there's 3,000 people at the airport. I'm like, for what? She's like, oh, you'll see. Welcome to Alabama.
Yeah.
So when we got off the plane, it was 3,000 people at the airport. And that's when I realized that, oh, yeah, it's real.
While you may not have expected that type of greeting initially, that is one of the reasons you probably didn't hesitate. And I don't want to speak for you, but I'm guessing there was no hesitation when he calls you in and says, hey, I want to do this and I want you to go with me. Obviously, there's not a lot of time to think about it. You seem to make that call rather quick.
I assumed that I was going to go with him. You know, I kind of... Well, we had some talks on Tuesday and Wednesday, and I kind of assumed. So, you know, information travels fast now, right?
Sure.
So my phone was blowing up, and then once Coach Saban retired, my phone's blowing up, and then, you know, people in the industry like, the deal is done. So I haven't talked to Kaylin. I don't know. And then I just proceeded to move on what we were doing in Washington. And then Friday, he says, like, hey, man, you know, taking the job to Alabama. And I'm like, yeah, I already know.
So, I've heard.
I heard. So then from there, I got to be at the airport 2:30, pack your bag, and let's go. So I assumed that we're just going to be there for 48 hours, sign some paperwork, take some pictures, press conference, and we were going to come back. Well, that 48 hours turned into a month and a half. And the month and a half, the first couple of days consisted of jumping into the frying pan. I mean, I never forget the feeling I had when we first walked in that first team meeting, and it was sad. It was like a funeral.
Yeah.
You know, and it was you could feel the trust had to be built from right there, because the players were looking at us like, who are these guys? You had the support staff. I mean, they were sad. I mean, Coach Saban just retired.
Sure.
So you can't fault them for feeling the way they felt, but it was definitely a weird feeling. It was like the Twilight Zone. It was just a weird feeling. I'm still mourning over the loss to Michigan on Monday, right?
Right.
So you had to learn how to have a short memory, move forward, and attack the task at hand. And then from there, the portal opened.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't just the portal, it was the coaching change rule. And, you know, one thing I noticed about Alabama when I got here that blew my mind was how serious the players were about football and winning. I mean, they were sizing us up.
Right.
Right? I remember being outside Coach DeBoer's office, and the players, they wanted to know, who are you?
Right.
Right? You know, like, I came here to win championships. I came here to play with Coach Saban. Who are you? And we had to start building that trust. And we're here now, and it worked out.
Why is Kalen DeBoer successful everywhere he goes?
I just give you my opinion.
That's all I want.
For one, he's a good person, right? He's a really good person. He's the same person every day, right? So you know what to expect every day. I've worked with different coaches where you don't know what to expect every day. They're really volatile personalities. With him, you know what to expect every day. So that puts you at ease when you walk into the facility, right? You know what to expect. I think also he trusts people to do their job, and he doesn't micromanage. But I think he hires people because he knows you can trust them to do their job.
Right.
So you just got to own your world, whatever your world is. You're an offensive coordinator, you own the offense, defense, own the defense. And I think he's a really, really good CEO. Right? He focuses on the things that are important to win on Saturday. Right? And he also focuses on keeping the mood of the building and the team good. So he's not too far in the weeds on anything. Right? He's kind of over everything. But he's so smart, and he's so in tune. At any moment, he can go all the way in on any single subject.
Right.
Like, he can go in the offensive staff meeting. I've seen him walk in the offensive staff meeting, stare at the screen, and he'll say, hey, why is that guy splits 3 yards out. He needs to be at the top of the numbers. And then walk out. And everybody look at each other like, oh, yeah, it makes sense, right? So he's like a savant. You know, he knows how to handle people. He gives everyone his attention. If he's talking to you, he's talking to you. You know, so I think he just knows how to handle people, and he has a calm coolness about him that I've never seen him off tilted. It's always the same even keel.
Courtney Morgan is the general manager of the Alabama football program. We'll continue to talk with him about his role and what Alabama football can look like under Kalen DeBoer as the head coach. Hey Coach is the name of our show, and we invite you to stay cool this season at Bryant Denny with a free non-alcoholic drink of your choice when you purchase a limited edition Bama Yeti. These vintage Yeti cups are available only at Bryant Denny Stadium. You can elevate your game day with Yeti. So glad you're listening to us on Hey Coach, presented by Alfa Insurance, auto, home, life, business. Alfa Insurance covers it all. AlfaInsurance.com. Right here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do, do it with a Coors Light. Mountain Cold Refreshment made to chill.
2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Producing championship quality lumber is not an easy process, but at Everwood Preserving, it's our only process. Wood treated right. Everwood offers top-notch pressure-treated wood for decks, outdoor structures, commercial jobs, and more that you can build your reputation on. When it comes to quality, we're on the winning team. Visit your local Everwood dealer today and discover the difference for yourself. Everwood Preserving Incorporated, the official lumber of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Let's huddle up and make things happen with the only cards for T-Town. The University of Alabama Regions Visa Debit Card and Prepaid Regions Now Card. They're a win for your wallet and a big roll tide, whether you're purchasing stuff for game day or every day. Want to go all in on confidently showing your Tide pride? Order your card now at regions.com/GoBama. Regions, official bank of the SEC. Member FDIC. Terms, conditions, and fees apply.
Founded in Haleyville, Alabama, Guthrie's Golden Fried Chicken Fingers has been family-owned and operated since 1965. Like their famous signature dipping sauce, Guthrie's has been imitated but never duplicated. Using the family's original Southern Fried Chicken recipe, Guthrie's is still serving the best chicken fingers in the world, just like you like them, fresh, hot, and fast. When you want the best, go to Guthrie's, America's original chicken finger restaurant, and now an official partner of the Alabama Crimson Tide. For franchise information, visit Guthrie'sChicken.com.
Back on our show coming up in a moment, the Everwood Performance of the Week. Everwood's the official treated lumber of Alabama Athletics. Everwood, wood treated right. I'm Chris Stewart, joined by the general manager of the Alabama football program, Courtney Morgan, joining us here at Baumhower's Victory Grille as we continue with our program. Coach DeBoer will be here next week. Did you ever go to his radio shows in Washington when he was the host there?
I did. I'm
going to bet he's pretty fun in those.
Yeah, he's the same person every day.
He is the same person every day, isn't he?
Yep, I will go every Wednesday night. We did it at a rooftop hotel. Oh, the Graduate. We did the Graduate.
Yeah.
And I think it was U District, Seattle.
Right. Other than the fact that it's been too hot, how have you enjoyed Tuscaloosa so far?
I like Tuscaloosa.
You hadn't seen much other than the office and the practice field, have you?
Yeah, but it's a good change of pace.
Yeah.
I think the amount of focus you need to have to be successful here, you need to be in Tuscaloosa.
Right.
You know, I couldn't imagine having the expectations and being in a major metropolitan city. You need to really go to work and go home.
Every day is very different. But in a college football building in season, there's very much consistency with what takes place. Kind of walk us as best you can.
A good college football program.
You're exactly right. Well said. Walk us through a little bit of what it looks like on a day for you and with the staff. Because things go a little, not that the day starts earlier for your staff than it did for Coach Saban's or most others, but in terms of when you see those players and when they're actually in to start practice, it's a little bit different. So walk us through that a little bit.
So we're a morning practice team. All right, so our players get to the facility 6. They check in, eat breakfast. So a part of what makes Coach DeBoer so good is that he has an accountability system set in. So our players have to come in, they have to check in, and they get weighed in, and then that check-in list is sent to the whole staff immediately. So we know who was there on time, who was late, and from there our players eat breakfast, they go to meetings, they go to practice. We're out of practice for 2 hours. We practice, they eat, they go to class. The staff comes off the field, eats breakfast or eats lunch, and then offense and defense go break down the practice film and watch the practice film. And then from there, everyone's working to get the practice field graded, and also working on planning the next day of install for whatever we're going to do the next day. The players come back in the afternoon after class. They walk through, usually sometime to correct whatever mistakes were made in practice, and then prepare for the next day install. And coaches, after they're preparing for walkthrough, they're grading the practice, they're putting in the install for the next day during that whole time of, from lunch until the players come back. And then when the players leave from walkthrough, the coaches are back upstairs, game planning, getting ready for the next day. Recruiting staff, it's always organization. You have to stay ahead. So you're planning on who you're going to watch the next day with the coaches. You're getting the recruiting grades in. You're setting up calls. You're talking to parents. You're getting ready for whatever is a home game. Who's coming to the game? Then you have travel. You have people calling you to try to figure out their hotels to stay here. And I'm meeting with every department I can. I meet with Trip Powell. I'm meeting with Walter Brock. I meet with Matt Self. The football office, no day is the same, even though the schedule is the same.
Sure.
So the schedule is the same, but you could easily be walking through the hall and get called into an office, and your whole day changes. Right? So you just have to be light on your feet.
The name of the show is Hey Coach, okay? The reason for that is back when everything was virtually all call-in, Wright Waters, who was the first general manager of the Crimson Tide Sports Network more than 20 years ago when it started, he said, I got an idea for this show. Everybody starts off their comment saying, hey, Coach. So that's where the name originated. We don't have Hey General Manager. So you got to fill in as coach on our first caller of the night. Awesome. And it's a regular. It's a guy down in Grand Bay, Alabama, beautiful part of the state of Alabama.
Now, where is Grand Bay at?
Grand Bay is south. I'm going to let this guy, and he's called Pee-wee. And let me tell you,
how long has Pee-wee been calling in?
Pee-wee's been calling a long time, and Pee-wee's Pee-wee about like you are. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Big dude, huh?
He's a big dude. Pee-wee in Grand Bay. Meet Courtney Morgan in Tuscaloosa.
How you doing, Pee-wee?
How you doing, sir?
I'm well. How you doing?
All right, so to tell you where Grand Bay is, we are in the very southwest corner of the state, about 20 miles from Mobile and 4 miles from the Mississippi state line on I-10.
I'm familiar.
Okay, so I've been calling into this show when it was originally called Tide Talk.
Good Lord.
And who was the host then?
That was Eli hosting it, right? For Tom Roberts.
Yes. But, Courtney, the question I wanted to ask you, was when Coach DeBoer was announced that he was going to be the new coach here, everybody was saying that, they're not sure that if he's going to be able to recruit or not because he doesn't have any relationships with any of the coaches here and nothing like this, and how woe is we going to be. And right now we stand with the number 2 class in the 2025 recruiting cycle. Just what have you seen from here that may have been different from anywhere else? you've been? Is it harder, easier, or just the same thing pretty much all the time?
It's a twofold answer.
He got a lot there, doesn't he?
It's easier, but it's harder. It's easier because you got the Script A brand. I mean, you're going to automatically get in for kid because you're at Alabama, right? So, you know, Alabama picks up the phone. When Alabama calls, people pick up the phone. So that's easier. It's harder because recruiting in the SEC is nonstop. It's relentless. So you just can't take your foot off the pedal at any time. You know, I think that Alabama gives you all the resources to make recruiting here easy. Our administration, the university, they've set this place up to succeed. And a lot of that credit goes to Coach Saban. I mean, he has enough trophies in that trophy room to lure any kid that want to come to Alabama, right? Right. So I think that it's harder because of the competition, but it's easy because of the success of the program, the history of the program, and everything the school can offer an athlete. You're going to get your foot in the door. And then after that, it's on you to build the relationship.
Pee Wee, thank you for the phone call. Good to hear from you. Again, 877-202-BAMA is the number to call to be a part of the program. And Coach Kalen DeBoer will be with us next week. And I was going to announce a guest that's going to be with him as well, but I'm going to hold off on that. We'll announce that on social media next week. Let's keep it focused in right here. Where's the fine line right now in the staff getting ready for game week prep, but not getting them ready to play on Thursday of this week?
You know, we're kind of in a weird phase right now. You're breaking camp. You can't quite get into the game week schedule because you're not within the game week time frame.
Right.
You're really trying to help your players get their legs up underneath them. You're trying to clean up the little things, a lot of special team scrimmages, situational stuff. So right now it's like that gray area, but when you're not quite into the game week, but you're breaking camp. And then school starting.
Today, right?
Right. So you're also trying to get your kids getting acclimated, getting back, going to class. You know, the first couple of days there's going to be some missed classes, wrong scheduling, just all the little things that go into kids going back to school. So you're trying to get used to going to school, get their feet back up underneath them. We've been blessed, knock on wood, to have a healthy training camp, you know, and that's rare. And then get in the game week and also get your players up and ready to play.
How the kids been?
Oh, they've been great. You know,
I knew that was going to be the answer, but I wanted to hear you elaborate on it a little bit.
The kids here are great. They're some of the best kids I've ever been around. I've been to some other programs, but these kids here want to win. These kids love football, and they're competitive. They hold each other accountable. They have fun. It's the vibe in the building is great. We have a great group of kids.
We do indeed. We got a great coaching staff, and the general manager on that coaching staff is Courtney Morgan. It's great to see you. Appreciate you being with us, setting the table for Coach next week.
I appreciate it.
Great to see you. Courtney Morgan with us here at Baumhower's Victory Grille as we continue on with more of Hey Coach. I mentioned the Performance of the Week is presented by Everwood, and the Everwood Performance of the Week does go to the 20th ranked Alabama soccer team that earned their first victory of the season over the University of North Texas on Saturday. An exciting late game rally allowed that to happen. We talked earlier in the show with not only Coach Wes Hart, but also standouts for him, Gessica, Skorka, and Gianna Paul. The Tide's in action tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at the Alabama Soccer Complex. Again, a 7 o'clock start time for that match against the University of North Alabama. Everwood Performance of the Week. The Alabama soccer team, Everwood, treated right. It's early, affiliates, and I apologize, but on a timing deal, we're going to take this a little bit early. Let's go ahead and pause 10 seconds so our local stations can identify themselves to you. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Get game day ready with Alumni Hall, your ultimate Crimson Tide shopping experience. Shop Nike, top brands, tailgating gear. Head to Alumni Hall in Midtown Village or shop alumnihall.com. Spend $150 and you'll get $10 in rewards for your next purchase at Alumni Hall. Coming up on the other side of the break, we're sticking with a football theme. Christian Miller, one of our broadcast partners on the Crimson Tide Sports Network and a former linebacker for the Tide as well, making his way up to the stage where he'll put the headset on and join us. That's coming up next here on Hey Coach in the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Stay cool with York Ice Company, the official ice supplier of the Crimson Tide. Whether you need ice in bulk on a construction site, in your restaurant or convenience store, or just at home for your next family event or tailgate, be sure to trust the same exceptional service the Tide does with a locally owned company. York Ice has been keeping Alabama cool since 1990 and can help with your needs across the state, all from their convenient location in downtown Tuscaloosa. York Ice Company is a proud supporter of the Crimson Tide. Visit them at yorkicecompany.com for more information.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. When you've got beer and football, nothing is hard. Until the other team scores. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus, copyright 2024, Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Gear up for game day with a hearty win from Jack's. Score big with our hand-breaded chicken fingers and mouth-watering fried chicken, served with scratch-made biscuits and a spread of tasty sides. Jack's Catering is perfect for feeding the whole crew while you cheer on your team. Whether it's a game watch or a gathering with your family, we got the flavors that everyone loves. Visit us at eatatjacks.com or download the Jack's app to start your catering order today. Jack's, all about the South.
I want that. The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on, so make it your best summer ever with Ford. Now's the best time to get our best deals on a great selection of Ford trucks and SUVs, like the Ford Explorer, the Ford Bronco family, Ford F-Series, and the all-electric F-150 Lightning. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event, so make it yours. Make it now at your Ford dealer today.
Roll time. Live from Baumhower's Victory Grille in Tuscaloosa, this is the Kalen DeBoer Show, presented by Alfa Insurance. You do your thing. We've got you covered.
We will be talking with Alabama head football coach Kalen DeBoer. Hey Coach, and the Kalen DeBoer Show starting next week. It's presented by Alfa Insurance. And also, we'll be taking your calls for Coach from Alabama 811. Help prevent injuries, outages, and loss of life. Call 811 or visit al811.com before you dig. It's free, it's simple, it's the law. And Lord, it's the analyst who was a great linebacker for the Crimson Tide, played in the NFL also. He's our own Christian Miller. Good to see you again, sir.
Good to see you, Chris. Long time no see.
Yeah, it's been a whole day and a half.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Was it yesterday we played and we were doing work? We're doing God's work playing on the golf course.
We were. We hit them pretty straight, and I was proud. My team came in third, I believe.
You did indeed.
Yeah.
Nice job.
And you know,
it's all about recruiting.
It is, right? I was, recruited by the Regents team, and they were great, and we had a lot of fun and shot some good shots, and I ended up walking away with the package to the South Carolina football game here in Tuscaloosa, which that couldn't have been a better gift for somebody like me who's from Columbia, South Carolina, the backyard of the Gamecocks. So my dad is also an alumni there. So that's gonna be fun.
He is. That was a family pick. You got to go with. All I know is if a fight breaks out in this town, I want to stand behind the Millers. Those are two large men, and while I'll be standing behind them, I'll be running the opposite direction of the fight, which will probably surprise no one. But how cool was it to have a chance to be out with your dad a little bit yesterday, man?
Oh, it was great. Being able to do our show together and spend a lot of time, it means a lot. He's always been somebody that I've been able to lean on with his experience playing the game, and he was recruited, so I got to lean on him in that aspect when I was a player here in the NFL. So now being able to work with him and then do functions like that, to hit the golf course with them. And hey, look, we're still competitive. So
I get that.
He was being my caddy because I didn't want to cheat because technically he wasn't in the tournament. But when we do compete, we definitely take it real serious. But have fun.
Understand. It's really special. Guys get to do radio on our Tuscaloosa affiliate each weekday, and excited about that. The Miller's Edge, if I recall, the name of the program.
That's right.
You've been to practice a few times. Tell me what you see. What looks similar to you of this team, and I won't say comparing coaches, but let's just say teams of the last 17 years compared to this one a little bit?
Well, first, let me tell you what I hear, and that's music. That's a lot different than what I was used to. We didn't have the music. But I'll say this, to ease some of that anxiety. People are like, oh, it's so different. It's in the background, right? And a lot of people, they use music. I heard it in the NFL. A lot of teams use it. But that's one unique thing that I think actually probably helps guys get going. A lot of times when you're out there, it's no different than being in the weight room. You use it as a little motivation. But
it's also no different from the game itself, is it? Because up until the snap, there's usually music playing in a college stadium.
There's crowds. There's all types of noise. So, to me, is it different? Sure. But it's something that a lot of people are doing. And I think if guys, as long as they're locked in, right, and they're still focusing on the main thing, which is practice, I don't have a problem with that. But that's one big thing that I notice. But what do I see? I see guys competing. I see a lot of intensity. I see guys getting to work. I really like that guys have took it the right way, right? They're respecting these new coaches. They're buying into their process, and that's what I'm seeing, guys going out there competing. I was talking with Coach DeBoer at practice, and he was even saying he was impressed. These guys, it's been a hot one at training camp, but these guys, they didn't flinch one bit. They've been going out there and making the most of it. So it still looks like an Alabama practice, which is very, very competitive.
Scheme-wise, what's different?
So that's a great question. I'll focus on the defense, right? Personnel-wise, you got a 4-2-5 defense. Our base was a 3-4 defense, but we always played a lot of nickel because nowadays, if you look at offenses, they're high-powered offenses. They're throwing the football. You got to match personnel. So from that standpoint, it's very similar. The biggest difference, you see some difference in the coverage integrities, right? Coach Saban had a pattern match system, a lot of cover 7. I don't want to get too ahead of myself.
Right.
But you'll see some cover 3 different things, a lot more zone. But the biggest thing when you look at, Coach Womack's system, he wants athletes to be athletes. You hear him talk about that. He wants to look for those mismatches. He don't want his guys thinking as much. He wants them going out there and playing football. And I think that's a good thing because, one thing about the system I came from, Coach Saban's system, is, I love it. There's a lot of complexity. It's not easy. We can defend so many different things, but sometimes, you're trying to think of, okay, what do I have if we do this, if they do this motion? Sometimes if you don't have guys fully prepared, it can slow you down a bit. Ken Womack's system is going to say, hey, go out there, don't think as much, but play fast, play physical, and go out there and be an athlete. So that's something to look for there. Then, on the offensive side of the football, man, Coach DeBoer, I'll tell you, man, that dude is smart. He's innovative. You talk about pre-snap movements and window dressing. As a defender, I'm telling you right now, it would cause headaches pre-snap. So I think that's going to be exciting. He's going to have a lot of creativity. He likes to utilize the skill set of his athletes, and I think that's something to look forward to if you're an Alabama football fan.
He's Christian Miller. He's part of our team with the Crimson Tide Sports Network. We'll be back with more with him from Baumhower's Victory Grille in a moment on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
I want that. The Make It Ford summer sales event is on, so make it your best summer ever with Ford. Now's the best time to get our best deals on a great selection of Ford trucks and SUVs, like the Ford Explorer, the Ford Bronco family, Ford F-Series, and the all-electric F-150 Lightning. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. It's the Make It Ford summer sales event, so make it yours. Make it now at your Ford dealer today.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Nobody beats Cook's Pest Control when it comes to superior protection against unwanted pests and termites. Cook's knowledgeable and courteous technicians are expertly trained to get the job done right, guaranteed. Protect your home and business with pest control you can trust. Call Cooks today for your free quote or to schedule a free on-site inspection.
Looky, 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 here comes Cookie. Cooks Pest Control.
When the game is on the line, you want someone you can count on. At Alabama Power, we believe in consistency and having each other's back. It's our game plan to safely deliver the electricity you depend on. We give 100% to achieve 99.9% reliability. Learn how we power a better Alabama at alabamapower.com/reliable. Alabama Power is a proud supporter of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Hey Coach, presented by Alfa Insurance, Auto Home Life Business, alfainsurance.com. Christian Miller joining us. I'm Chris Stewart back at Baumhower's for another segment. A quick one here on Hey Coach. This time of year, you're getting ready for the opener. You're getting ready with a new coaching staff. Obviously, we've discussed that. But common thread for all teams, whether it's year one or year 17, as was the case last year for Coach Saban's squad. What is this week like? What is it you're trying to get done this week before you get into that first game week mode?
That's a great question. So now would be like that transition period, right, Chris? So you've had training camp. You just finished up scrimmage number 2. That's going to be your final scrimmage. Classes just started this week. So you're kind of going from training camp mode and slowly working into game plan mode. Now, you still got time, so you're still going to be doing those camp-style practices, but you're going to slowly start, peeling things back a little bit and getting more into that in-season type mode. So that's what it typically looks like right now. Still very competitive, but those coaches are finally starting to say, all right, we know what guys can do. We know where they fit. Now we're going to start trying to find those roles and start slowly game planning for our first opponent, which is coming up in about 10 days from now.
That's what rumor has. Coca-Cola Zero Sugar allows you to tackle game day with a great taste of Coke Zero Sugar. Is it the best Coke ever? We'll try and decide for yourself. We're coming back. Christian Miller with us. We're getting some more thoughts from him as we are getting into game mode. Alabama, Western Kentucky, as the man said, 10 days from now, right here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
For over 75 years, Winslow's Oyster House has been your go-to spot for the freshest seafood in town. Dive into our famous oysters and enjoy a taste of tradition that's been serving Alabama football fans since day one. Join us this game day at Winslow's, where every bite is a touchdown.
Your moment has arrived. It's time to shed the normal day-to-day version of yourself and let your most fabulous self loose. Make your way to Wind Creek Atmore, because whatever your idea of fabulous is, this is where you'll find it. Wind Creek Atmore. It's your kind of fabulous. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Don't stop planning for your future. Don't stop investing in your kids' education. Don't stop dreaming of that new home. And don't stop growing your business. Whatever you're passionate or dreaming about, don't stop. Because when you have a bank you can trust, you have the confidence to take on tomorrow. Speak with a Trustmark associate today for advice on achieving your goals. Trustmark. People you trust. Advice that works. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain Cold Refreshment made to chill.
2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly. For over 75 years, Winslow's Oyster House has been your go-to spot for the freshest seafood in town. Dive into our famous oysters and enjoy a taste of tradition that's been serving Alabama football fans since day one. Join us this game day at Winslow's, where every bite is a touchdown.
Alfa Insurance covers it all. Alfa Insurance. FanFest.com, one of our great partners here on Hey Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show. And again, Coach Kalen DeBoer with us for the first time all throughout the football season, but it starts with Coach DeBoer next week. Again, our show from 6 until 7:30 each and every Wednesday. Yes, we are on Wednesdays now for Hey Coach during the football season, and look forward to visiting with Coach DeBoer. He'll have student athletes with him each week on the program. We'd love to have you here at Baumhower's Victory Grille, a warm reception, we know, for Coach and the players next week with a packed house. And I say that, and we got a packed house tonight and have from the start, and appreciate it so very much here on Hey Coach. Christian Miller, part of our broadcast crew on the Crimson Tide Sports Network, with me for a few more moments on the show. When you heard the news that Kalen DeBoer was a coach, I know it's a tough 3 days. As a fan, you're excited that your athletic director, Greg Byrne, was able to make a move with a top-level coach as quickly as he did. On the other side, we're not over the mourning period yet of Nick Saban with the best run of this era calling it quits. So as a former player, but someone who still loves and is very much involved with the program, tell me about your experience with that time period and going from, good grief, he's done, to, Kalen DeBoer.
Yeah, no, Chris, here's a funny story for you real quick. So my best friend is Jamie Mosley, right?
Yeah.
And he's on staff. Awesome, phenomenal guy, man. He's the assistant defensive line coach with Freddie Roach. And he's actually my neighbor, right? So I was actually with him before that team meeting. Right. And he told me, he's like, hey, I got to run up here. We got this team meeting real quick. I'll be back in a little bit. And I was like, all right, cool, man. He had no clue.
Right.
He goes up there, and I was sitting there. It was me and his wife and a couple others. And there's a notification that says Coach Saban retired. We thought it was fake. Right. Like, we didn't believe it. Because I'm like, this guy just left. He's a coach. Why didn't he tell us? Right. He didn't even tell his wife. But he didn't know. And so we got it like everybody else. We saw the news, and everybody was like, oh, my gosh, couldn't believe it. And like you said, it was just a very interesting time period. Like, who's going to fill that void? And we were waiting, and to hear that Coach DeBoer ends up taking the job, number one, I mean, I think that's one of the best candidates you can get, the guy that just played in the national championship a few days ago, whenever it was. So we were excited about that. And just knowing, what he's done in each program that he's been, I mean, the resume speaks for itself. And I think the biggest thing was just like, hey, Alabama is a place about winning. It's got a lot of tradition. And I think it's a guy that can come in here and he can help continue that tradition. And so I'll say this, Chris, getting to meet Coach DeBoer, I mean, you talk about a man of integrity, a guy that really knows how to connect with his players, his staff. He's one of the nicest people I've met, man. Right. My dad even got to meet him after practice one time, and we just sat there and talked football, talked about my experiences there. And I mean, he's just so humble, and I love the fact that he's very respectful of the previous era, the previous players, and all the traditions. But he also knows that he can be himself, and he can bring his process here. And ultimately, I think that's what's going to make him successful, is that he's respectful of the past, but also very aware of the future, and him as as a coach and his process. And I think all those things, man, is really what makes him special. You know who that sounds like to me? That would be Nick Saban. Yeah. Because when Nick Saban came in, obviously it was a different situation. Work needed to be done. Right. But the name was still there. It was Alabama. And Coach talked about respecting the history, and I've always kind of felt, it's one thing you should honor and respect your history, but you can't wallow in it. Exactly. Because you've got to go, and it takes day after day after day. You can have, and since they're a sponsor, I'll use this. They're sponsor of this segment, Mercedes-Benz. You can have that great-looking Mercedes-Benz, but if you don't shine it and you don't keep the maintenance on it, it may still say Mercedes, but it ain't going to look like one. That's right. We've had very brief periods, thank you, Lord, in the history of this program where we hadn't always looked like Alabama. But this is poised to continue to look like Alabama
with Kalen DeBoer taking over right now?
Absolutely. I mean, number one, you look at the guys that Coach recruited here. You have a lot of talent. Those guys are here. And when you have cornerstone pieces, guys like Malachi Moore, Deontay Lawson, Tyler Booker, Jalen Milroe, these guys, they were brought up by Coach Saban. They still have that Bama mentality. And I think that's one important thing to remember. Yeah, you have a new staff and you have a new system and things like that. But these guys, they know the standard. When I'm around those guys, when they talk to me, they talk about that standard. They're going back and talking to their teammates about that standard. And I think that's one thing, again, about Coach DeBoer. He sits down with his players. That was one of the first things he did when he got here. He met with those guys. He asked them, what is special about Alabama? What makes this place special? What is special to you guys? And so when you marry those two things together, there's no other option than to have success. So I'm really excited for what's to come, man. Again, Coach DeBoer, with his skill set, married with these guys, this type of talent, this system, this support system. You mentioned Greg Byrne, all these phenomenal fans. Yay, Alabama. I mean, I'm fully expecting. There we go. I heard a nice roll tide right there. Just like that.
Sitting on that one all night.
There it is, right. Look, I mean, like, you have no other option to have success. So I'm really excited for it, man, and where the program is headed.
Get you a sip of water. I got one quick minute left with you.
Thanks, sir.
I need you to give me the dog to look for on that Bama D this year.
Man, that's a great question because you got a few guys, right? Malachi Moore is the guy that stands out. He's a headhunter back there, a cornerstone piece in that secondary. I think you can look out for him. Another guy I really like is Jahad Campbell. I mean, this is a guy we're talking that can play any linebacker position, right? He played outside linebacker in high school. He comes here, he learns the inside linebacker position, but he's 6'3", 245 pounds now. He added about 9 or 10 pounds. Can run like a deer. I mean, he can do it all. I think you'll see him making a lot of plays, him paired up with Deontay Lawson, another physical specimen who can be very instinctive, very rangy. But you talk about dogs, man. I mean, I think those three guys, I mean, even up front, I mean, both the Tims, right? You got two Tims that are very dominant, Jaheim Otis, Latham, and LT Overton is a guy that came from Texas A&M. His ability to combine speed with power, man, him and Latham, both those guys are very similar. 280 pounds, but they have athleticism almost like myself. That's hard to defend. Their versatility, I mean, is a defensive coordinator's dream, right? So those are some guys that I would point out. And even Keon Sabb. I can't just pick one guy, Chris.
That's fair. But I like the fact that you got a lot of guys to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm being honest. I've been at practice, I've seen scrimmages, and I've seen a lot of guys stepping up and having that dog-like mentality. So that's important. You got to have that as a defender, especially here at Alabama. We know the standard about being an Alabama defender.
You're one of the guys that helped set it. Christian Miller, thanks for the time.
Always. Thank you,
Always
Chris.
Great to see you. Christian Miller, part of our broadcast crew on the Crimson Tide Sports Network, former Bama great as well with us. We're coming back and wrapping things up right after this on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations. You could say we know a thing or two about tradition. We've been family, community, and financially strong since we began in 1906. Being a team player is part of our culture. That's why at CB&S Bank, we're proud to sponsor the University of Alabama Athletics and prouder to take the field or court with you. Visit cbsbank.com today. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
I spy a new Camry.
Ooh, I spy a sporty RAV4.
I spy deals on the entire lineup at the Toyota National Sales Event.
Good eye.
Get 3.99% APR for 36 months on a new 2024 Toyota RAV4. Offer valid through September 3rd, 2024. Zero down for well-qualified buyers with approved credit and financing through Southeast Toyota Finance. $29.52 monthly payment for every $1,000 financed. Excludes tax, tag, registration, title, and dealer fees. See dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
Stay cool with York Ice Company, the official ice supplier of the Crimson Tide. Whether you need ice in bulk on a construction site, in your restaurant or convenience store, or just at home for your next family event or tailgate, be sure to trust the same exceptional service the Tide does with a locally owned company. York Ice has been keeping Alabama cool since 1990 and can help with your needs across the state, all from their convenient location in downtown Tuscaloosa. York Ice Company is a proud supporter of the Crimson Tide. Visit them at yorkicecompany.com for more information. Producing championship quality lumber is not an easy process, but at Everwood Preserving, it's our only process. Wood treated right. Everwood offers top-notch pressure-treated wood for decks, outdoor structures, commercial jobs, and more that you can build your reputation on. When it comes to quality, we're on the winning team. Visit your local Everwood dealer today and discover the difference for yourself. Everwood Preserving Incorporated, the official lumber of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
When Coach Kalen DeBoer joins us next week, we will look forward to him wrapping up his portion of our visit with the final word. And that final word each and every week is presented by Mercedes-Benz. The vehicles are all electric. The feeling is all Mercedes. And our show with Coach DeBoer, as always, we've been telling you all show, but want to remind you and appreciate so much Alfa Insurance. Auto, home, life, business, they've got it all. Learn more online at alfainsurance.com. We're coming back, taking a look at what's on tap next for Bama and putting a capper on things. Stay with us. We're back after this on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Your moment has arrived. It's time to shed the normal day-to-day version of yourself and let your most fabulous self loose. Make your way to Wind Creek Wetumpka, because whatever your idea of fabulous is, this is where you'll find it. Wind Creek Wetumpka. It's your kind of fabulous. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm Jan Miller. And I'm Kobe Prentice. Make sure you and your family are up to date this summer on all recommended vaccines, including respiratory disease.
Vaccinations against these viruses are important for everyone, especially those at a higher risk of developing serious complications, including older Americans and those with certain medical conditions.
So don't wait. Vaccinate. For more information, visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMM today. Stay safe and roll tide.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Let's huddle up and make things happen with the only cards for T-Town. The University of Alabama Regions Visa Debit Card and Prepaid Regions Now Card. They're a win for your wallet and a big roll tide, whether you're purchasing stuff for game day or every day. Want to go all in on confidently showing your Tide pride? Order your card now at regions.com/GoBama. Regions, official bank of the SEC. Member FDIC. Terms, conditions, and fees apply.
Hello there. My name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you know you're going to get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
I want that. The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on, so make it your best summer ever with Ford. Now's the best time to get our best deals on a great selection of Ford trucks and SUVs, like the Ford Explorer, the Ford Bronco family, Ford F-Series, and the all-electric F-150 Lightning. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event, so make it yours. Make it now at your Ford dealer today.
Guthrie's Golden Fried Chicken Fingers, an Alabama tailgate tradition. Founded in Haleyville, Alabama in 1965, Guthrie's has been a Bama fan favorite for years. From your hometown to college towns all around, Guthrie's is still serving the family's original Southern fried chicken recipe just like always, fresh, hot, and fast. Make Guthrie's Golden Fried Chicken Fingers the MVP of your next tailgate. Guthrie's, America's original chicken finger restaurant and now an official partner of the Alabama Crimson Tide. For franchise information, visit Guthrie'sChicken.com.
Chris Stewart, Christian Miller, our producer Tom Stipe, back with you for just a couple more minutes here at Baumhower's Victory Grille, continuing on with Hey Coach. And what's on tap next for Bama is presented by Coors Light. Crimson Tide fans, choose chill with an ice-cold Coors Light. What's next up for Bama soccer is a match tomorrow night. They're at home against the University of North Alabama. We had a chance to visit with Wes Hart and a couple of members of his squad earlier in the program. You can go back and find that. If you missed any portion of our show, find it on demand on our Alabama Insider podcast. Download and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Again, that's the Alabama Insider podcast from us here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. You'll hear Coach Hart preview a little bit the matchup with North Alabama and talk about where his team is after their first weekend of matches, sitting at 1-1 with UNA coming to town for a matchup on Thursday night. That one getting underway 7 o'clock at the Alabama Soccer Complex. But, of course, football's next matchup will be its first matchup of the season, and the first with Kalen DeBoer as the head coach. Tyson Helton and Western Kentucky will be at Bryant-Denny Stadium Saturday, August 31st. The game day broadcast will begin at 3, kickoff scheduled for 6 Central. It'll be presented by Golden Flake, the official potato chip of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Christian Miller, as we get into this, the final few days before camp itself starts, you've already kind of broken down where things are for this team. Mm-hmm. Tell me if Coach and the staff that hasn't experienced it, they may think they know, but they don't quite know what it's going to be like to walk into that tunnel, hear Thunderstruck, and come out and represent the Crimson Tide at Bryant-Denny Stadium.
When I tell you that's one of the best feelings ever, man, I mean, it doesn't get better than that. And I think Coach DeBoer had kind of that, I call it like syllabus week during, A-Day. You get a little intro to it.
Taste.
Yeah, you get a taste, but let's just be honest. I mean, the real deal is special, man. When you're playing under those lights in Bryant-Denny Stadium, you hear that music coming out. I mean, it's – golly, you're making me want to go put some pads on, especially.
I understand.
Hey, look, man, but I think when he runs out that tunnel for the first time, it's really going to hit him. I mean, when you see Bryant-Denny Stadium packed, when you hear all the sights and sounds, man, there's nothing like it, right? I mean, I played in a lot of the best stadiums in college football, and I mean, Bryant-Denny Stadium it's unprecedented, man. It's just something special to it, and these fans do a phenomenal job making it that special place.
Talk to me real quick before we go. We talk defense. I want to know your thoughts on offense and what you're seeing from that side.
Man, I'm excited, right? I'm excited. You got a guy like Jalen Milroe and his skill set, and you got a coach who's willing to take that skill set and optimize that. We talked about, matter of fact, I was up there after practice and I asked Jalen, my dad actually asked him, a part of the media, how do you feel like this system, benefits you? And he said, look, man, me and Coach DeBoer, we meet on these things. We talk about what works for me, what I'm comfortable doing. And that is something you want to hear, because that tells me that Kalen DeBoer knows I need to put my players in the best position possible for them to be successful, because when they're successful, the team is successful. So I'm excited to see what he can do with a guy like Jalen Milroe. I'm excited to see this running back room, a lot of young guys and a lot of talent. Jan Miller, Justice Haynes, those guys are going to be phenomenal. A young guy like Ryan Williams, I mean, he's a superstar, right? And then not to take it, the other receivers are great. Kobe Prentice stepping up, making plays. I think that's going to be a room that surprises a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right? And then
there's some depth there.
There's some depth there. Then obviously the offensive line. You talk about those 3 guys up front, man. You got several All-Americans. I mean, there's a lot of beef, a lot of power. And then to get these tackles going, man, this offense is going to be exciting. I think there's going to be a lot of nuances to it. There's going to be a lot of creativity. And hopefully there's going to be a lot of points scored.
I said this at an alumni function last night, and people may have misunderstood. I wasn't being ugly. I'm just asking how the snap's looking.
Hey, look, that's an honest question, right? Hey, they've been looking good. A guy like Parker Brailsford, who transferred in from Washington, he's All-American last year, the freshman, I believe. Preseason All-American this year. This guy, he's not the biggest guy. He's a little bit on the shorter side. He's put on some weight. He's probably like 295 now, but he's snappy. He's quick. He's accurate with his snaps, which is what you want to hear.
It's a good start.
No, it's a great start. But if you watch this guy work, man, he's violent with his hands. He moves extremely well. Very talented football player, and he was a huge addition to Alabama from the transfer portal.
You've been a huge addition to our crew. It's great to see you again.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
Thank you,
Told you about once already. I apologize for for being out of timing on this. Christian Miller with us here on Hey Coach. Big thank you to our friends at Christopher Mobley, the preferred luxury clothing provider of our Crimson Tide Sports Network crew. Again, if you missed any portion of tonight's show. You can always catch it on demand. That Alabama Insider podcast is available to you. We invite you to download and subscribe wherever you may get your podcast. Vice President, General Manager of the Crimson Tide Sports Network is Jim Carabin. Ethan Carabin handles our Facebook Live broadcast each and every week, tied into what we do on the radio side. Jerry Kelly, our studio engineer, Tom Stipe, our producer. Thanks to all of our guests who joined us tonight, especially in this last hour when we talked with Courtney Morgan and also Christian Miller from here on the network. For everybody on our crew, I'm Chris Stewart. Thank you for joining us. Roll Tide and good night from Baumhower's Victory Grille.
This has been Hey Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show. Hey Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show has been presented by Alfa Insurance. You do your thing. We've got you covered. Hey Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show has also been brought to you by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealership today. Toyota, let's go places. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.